Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC Mura here, and in today's video we are gonna talk about Superman in Multiversus. I've been playing this game since the closed alpha and he is my main character. Been playing him a lot. He is a lot of fun and I do think he's a pretty good character. If you're playing in singles or if you're playing in doubles, you can't really go wrong with him. So today we're gonna first talk about him in general, say an overview of some sort. I talk about his pros and cons, and then we will get into more details like combos and how do you use his attacks and obviously what perks you want to equip. So let's first start with the general overview. Obviously Superman is a heavy character, so his movement is on the slower end. It's not terrible, and for a character like him with his toolkit it is certainly functional, but obviously expect other characters to have a little bit better movement than you. Now on the plus side, because he's a tank, this is a character that is very survivable. Like, he takes a lot of damage before you can knock him out. He is a heavyweight, and obviously he does have good recovery options with the flight, and he does have really good dodges, and he can like dodge upward as well. So his recovery options are actually pretty great. He's a very tough character to kill. Now, one thing that is actually absolutely fantastic about him is his damage output, because this guy does incredible damage. Superman hits like a truck, obviously appropriately, but yeah, his damage output is very high. See, here we have Shaggy at 90 HP who charges the up attack and bam, that's a knockout. Not many characters are capable of doing this, and this move is armored as well, by the way, so that is pretty good. Now, one area where I do think Superman kinda struggles, at least in comparison to the rest of the roster, is the hitboxes and overall range on his attacks. I feel like he's a little bit stubby, at least stubbier than he should, or at least should be. Obviously his jabs don't have much range. The neutral attack, this one actually is pretty good, but his jab is actually very short. It feels like you have to be very close to the opponent to actually hit him. Obviously a lot of the characters in this game have weapons, and a lot of them have much better hitboxes, Finn and etc. So yeah, it can be a little bit of struggle. Now the kind of compromise with Superman is that you give away range for armor, because he does have a lot of armor on his attacks. For example, the neutral attack is an armored move, the upward attack is an armored move, and both of them are actually pretty good. And a lot of his specials as well, like the down special, the laser, this have armor. The upward special, this also have armor. So I mean, obviously in this game a lot of characters have fast multi-hitting moves, like say Bugs, and others like for example Wonder Woman have an amazing neutral jump attack that will beat armor. So it's kind of difficult, but armor is a good trait for the character to have. Now, one thing that I do think this character is absolutely amazing at is what I like to call sheathing kills. If the opponent is near the edge of the screen, thanks to his grabs, like the air grabs, the upward special, and the side special, you will be able to get confirmed kills that you don't really have any business doing. Let's say for example that Shaggy here is gonna jump, right? And let's put him at like 40 damage, right? So he's gonna do the double jump, right, at 40 HP, and he's out, right? Just because we read the grab. And this is really not that uncommon of a scenario with Superman. Like, believe it or not, this happens all the time. If you got a read on the opponent recovery and you manage to able to hit them out of it, you can get an absolute confirm for a kill, and that is absolutely crazy for this guy. Overall, I think he is a pretty good character. I don't think he is as powerful as the top tiers, like characters like Finn or Bugs and stuff, but I do think he's still obviously pretty solid. He is on the free rotation, so I do recommend giving him a shot. So let's now talk about Superman moves, his attacks. I'm gonna start first with the grounded moves, starting with the neutral attack, because this one actually is one of his best moves. As you can see, it does have armor on it. If you happen to charge it, the charged version have good range, and overall the range on it is pretty nice. If you happen to fully charge it, it actually is a very good knockout move, especially if the opponent is at like low HP. This one is pretty great. So for an armored attack, this is actually really nice. And you can easily combo into the non-armored version. Just if you happen to hit a jab, you pretty much get this guaranteed. So any forward attack and you do get this, which obviously is pretty nice. From the right distance, which is around the maximum range for your jab, you can actually get a side special as well to combo here. Let me try this one more time. The range on this is a little bit finicky, but you can get it to work. As you can see, quick 20% combo. That is really nice. Obviously, the CPU is set to dodge during hit stun, so you know like this is a legit combo. Overall, it's one of his best moves, and I would highly recommend using it. I like it a lot, especially if the opponent is low on health, right? Because pretty much you hitting them once means that you got to create a situation. They might try to come back, but then you can cut here, try to chase with like an armor or a grab, etc, etc, etc. So it is actually really nice. It makes Superman very dangerous. Now his next move is obviously the jab special, and his jab is a little bit short, unfortunately. At least I do think so. Obviously you can do like the jab combo, but you don't get much after that. If you try to do the jab into the forward multiple punches, they can dodge out of it. The multiple punches attack is good because it's very active, so you can kinda hit the opponent out of it. Like it can beat a lot of moves, but like if they dodge through you, you are pretty vulnerable here. This does have a lot of recovery, so it might work on like the very early levels, but once they know how to fight Superman, yeah, this is very easy to play around, unfortunately. And in general, his combo potential isn't that amazing, unfortunately. I think at least on the ground, like at least on his jab combos, it is somewhat of a struggle. His downward attack is actually pretty interesting. If you happen to hit this, it can actually lead to a lot of damage, and you can kind of loop it. Like let's say you do down attack into jab into down attack, this actually can work. It's a little bit finicky on the range as well, and if the opponent is low on HP, this is also a good way to knock them out. Unfortunately, obviously this one doesn't have armor, but it's a very good knockout move. Now this attack is tricky to combo into. If you notice here, if I do it like that, it hits once, but if I'm close enough, it will actually hit twice, right? And let's say here Shaggy, like I said, is set to dodge. If you do the forward jab into it, right, it's easy if they were able to dodge. If you can get the multiple hitting version, you will actually get it to connect, but you have to be very close, right? And this will kind of allow you to get combos like this. And this is kind of where I said Superman struggles, because the really good combos like this one, like you have to be very close to the opponent. Obviously this can do a lot of damage, but the range is really short, unfortunately. But it is a pretty good attack if you can get it. And obviously finally we have the upward attack, and this is very good, especially the charged version. Now obviously with a lot of his moves, once you start the charge, you kind of have to commit, right? And this is kind of risky because characters can dodge at any time, and a lot of characters are really fast, so you kind of have to be careful. But if you have the read, or like say you manage to put them in a freeze state, moves like his up attack, just charged up attack, this actually is very good. Now one thing that I really like about the up attack is that Superman can dodge upward, right? And this means that you can cancel it into a dodge and then immediately do the up attack, and you can actually get some really nice hits here, especially if you got the charged version. Obviously here I got attack decay, but it will allow you to combo the opponent and follow up on it. Up attack into an upward dodge is actually a very good strategy with this guy. Now let's talk about the grounded special, because we have the sniper punch, I guess is what they call it. This attack is pretty good, if not a little bit telegraphed. Like it can work on the lower levels, but once the opponents really know what you are trying to do, it can be kind of hard to use it, but it's still fairly good. If you happen to hit it, it's very good at like knocking out opponents. It does a lot of damage, so it's a little bit of a high risk, high reward move, but you are vulnerable after it. The recovery isn't terrible, but you can get punished. Like if they happen to neutral dodge you, you can actually get punished, so you kind of have to be a little bit careful with that. The upward special, This one I don't like that much, to be honest. The startup is very long, and you can actually get hit here. You only have armor as you're going up. I like to use it, like, let's say, for example, like use it here and maybe like cancel into another aerial action. That part of it is fine, but I personally don't recommend you using it that much. It's not a great move. It's honestly not that great of a move. His regular special, the freeze, I do think this one is pretty good, especially in doubles. Obviously in doubles, this will, like, if your allies will also do ice damage, and if you happen to get the opponent on ice, obviously there is a perk for Superman that makes you do more damage to iced opponent, and you pretty much get a free combo on an iced opponent. So that is pretty amazing, right? It's a really good tool, and you can get like your big attack if you want. So it's a pretty great tool, right? And one thing that you kind of have to remember is that it does negate projectiles as well, and you can kind of move quickly with it. You can kind of move with him as you are doing it, and you can cancel out of it at any time. So I do really like this one quite a bit, right? And finally you have the grounded laser. The grounded laser is good because it does have armor, so maybe they'll try to stop you, but then they will get hit. So that part of it is good, but for the most part you will be doing the area laser simply to have more range, right? That's typically how it goes. So let's now talk about his air moves, and I do think Superman is pretty good in the air. Obviously you do have the regular jump attacks, and these are pretty good. The regular jump attack or the neutral jump attack, it have a lot of active frames, so with it staying out there pretty much forever, it is good to like catch opponents, but you don't lose that much out of it, right? Unfortunately, you will not really be using it that much. The one that you want to be using a lot is the forward attack, or like the side attack, because this one is actually pretty great. It's very active and have a really good hitbox and pretty much allow you to chase the opponent. So with Superman, you're gonna be doing stuff like that a lot. This is probably the best thing I like to do with him. A lot of just jumping into the forward special or the forward attack, and if you happen to get this, you can actually get like a grounded combo on them with this as well, which is really nice. And the downward attack is also very good, right? And like, so it's easy to get them, and if you get it, you get the up smash, which then you will dodge into an upward like an upward dash and get to kinda chase them. So let me show like what I mean, right? And then here you can get to chase, maybe you will predict the recovery and then hit them with the up or the side attack. So that part of it is actually pretty good. And one other thing he have is the upward attack as well, or the up or jump up attack, and this is pretty good because you can kind of cancel it into the up grab, and this is very likely to hit the opponent. They will kind of combo into each other. So let's say, for example, here's a Shaggy jumping, right? This is very, very likely to happen. Let me jump again, right? This is pretty much guaranteed at this point, and for that it is actually really great. And obviously, like, if they try to recover, you can kinda then try to like predict where they're gonna try to recover, and then like go with the side grab. You know how it goes. So it is actually a very good move to hit the opponent in the air. The hitbox on it isn't great, but the reward that you get on hit is absolutely fantastic. And next up we got the laser, and I do like this. I like actually doing it twice, because a lot of people kinda dodge once, but they don't expect you to do it a second time. Now obviously this does carry some risk, because you are vulnerable during the animation and you don't have armor, so you have to be careful, especially in doubles, because if they are targeting you, this will leave you vulnerable. And obviously if the opponent is like low on HP, they will be bobbed up really high by this, and then like you can follow up with a combo after, so that is pretty nice. And the range on it, especially like if you are doing it from a really high height, it can be really big. Like this was a good majority of the screen, so that is a pretty good attack. It's quite reliable. I like it a lot. And obviously if you do the regular or the I guess the just neutral special, you will get the freeze breeze, and this is good because you can kind of fast fall this, right? And you know, a lot of people don't really expect it. I don't know why this works so much on people, but again, you can cancel out of it anytime, and if you happen to get the breathing or if you happen to get the freeze, that is actually that's very rewarding. So I like doing this a lot. If I'm fast falling with Superman, I'm doing a lot of this, right? I'm doing a lot of the fast falling as I'm doing the breeze, and obviously, like I said, it does negate projectiles, so that is really nice. And finally, obviously, we got the grabs, and this is probably the biggest aspect of Superman's game, especially his aerial game, right? A lot of the gameplay with Superman is gonna be about doing stuff like that. You predicting their movement and then like canceling into the grab, and then you kind of decide what you want to do with them, right? Because you can throw them downward, and this can lead to some good interactions. If they are near the side, like let's say he's there, he's not recovering, right? Let's make him recover. Let's say for example that he is near the side and he's about to go out. You can kind of cancel into his side attack, and this will do the aerial grab. Now as you noticed, Shaggy was able to hit me out of this, so it isn't like it's good, but you certainly can get hit out of it, right? As you can see, and this is probably the biggest issue with it. So it's more rewarding to use, I think, in like reset situations. Like let's say for example something like this, he is about to recover, then you want to use it. If you're just using it willy-nilly and it's constantly going for the grabs like that, you are very likely to get hit out of it, especially by the good characters, right? And that is pretty much it for his specials. Ultimately, when the neutral Superman, you want to try to be using lasers, you want to try to use his aerial moves, for example the aerial down attack and the aerial side attack, because these are really good, they are really fast, and they do have a good range and allow you to follow up with him. If you read that the opponent is gonna try to attack you, you have the neutral attack, which is very good, and the charged upward attack. Obviously armored carry some risk, but the reward is there for him. Now let's talk about some perks that you want to use for Superman, and at least I will tell you the ones that I really like for him and why I like each of them. For the signature perk, or like the really important one, personally I like to use the sniper punch in 1v1, and I like to use the break the ice in doubles. Break the ice is really good because what this does is if the opponent happen to be on ice, they are getting hit for more damage. So for example, this is his neutral attack, here this is doing 10 damage. If I happen to put Shaggy on ice, right, it's gonna be doing a little bit more here at 14. Notice it did like 13 damage, so you're getting a little bit more damage output on that. Obviously in doubles, if you happen to use the ice breeze, your ally will also deal ice attack, so it's easier to like put the ice on the opponent, and that's why I like it, right? Next up, with the like minor perks, I like Kryptonian skin because this is just a flat out damage reduction, and I think this is really good. And last stand, this one I absolutely love for him because this buffs his damage output tremendously. Like let's say for example that you're doing a basic combo with him, right, which is like jab into the neutral attack, right? Let's say we're trying to do the jab neutral attack into side attack like this one. Here it did 23 damage, right? And that is pretty nice. If I'm having the 100% buff, right? If my health is below 100 or like 105, 110, whatever, you actually get more damage, and this means that this attack is now doing 25, right? Every hit you do is gonna do more. And if you imagine his charged moves, for example, the charged neutral punch, this is now doing 11. The charged upward punch, this is now doing about 9. So you're doing a lot more damage on each hit. And he's a guy who is a tank, and obviously is a heavy, so it's very likely for you to be at above 100 damage. actually a lot of the time of the match, right? Like most of the time of the match, you are actually going to be above 100 because you are hard to kill. So you get the benefits of this buff a lot, right? And obviously with each combo, the buff is doing a little bit more, right? So check out something like that. That was like a 50 sequence with a single combo. I do think that is actually pretty fascinating for him. And lastly, I do like the Wildcat Brawler because it is a flat out damage buff. It will increase your damage out by 5. And this is pretty good, obviously, because a lot of your grounded moves, the armored moves, you are getting more damage on them. And that is nice overall, right? So let's now talk about Superman combos, and I don't think he have as good of a combo game as some of the other characters in this game, at least like true combos, but he does have quite a few that you will need to know. Starting first, if we say we're starting from a jab, which is the forward attack, he doesn't get like the 3 jab combos that all of the characters get. If you're doing the bunchy bunch thing, they can dodge out of that, so I don't really recommend it that much. What you can do with him is do a jab into a neutral punch, right? This will almost always work, regardless of the range. You're always gonna get this, and from the right distance, you can follow up with the forward special or the side special, and see, this was like an easy 20% combo, and it is very considered as forward attack, neutral attack into side special, and that was an easy 20%. And obviously the side special, this one actually does very well if they are low on HP, because it can easily knock them out, so that is pretty nice. If you are close enough, like I said previously, the down attack, this actually up close can hit twice. So if you are able to get the 2-hitting version, you can actually get it to combo out of the jab, right? Now this is very finicky, right? But if you happen to get it to work like that, notice this was almost like 29%, so this can do a lot of damage. You just have to be very close to the opponent, and you have to get the double hits of the down attack. Not very likely to happen, but it can happen, and if it does, that is very fortunate of you. Obviously with attack DK and everything, it will be a lot harder to hit this as well, but it's a possible combo that is really good if you happen to land them, and obviously you can chase them with the jumping side attack as well to get even more damage out of that. So this is an important sequence to know. I talked a lot about the side attack in the air, and this one is actually very good, because if you happen to get it to land, you can almost always get a side special as well, right? This is almost a guaranteed sequence, and that, like you've seen, is an 18 damage. Obviously you can get other follow-ups if you want, but this is one that I like a lot, right? Because the down attack can miss, and the neutral attack doesn't do that much damage, so this is an important combo that I like to use. And obviously the downward attack, like this one, the downward air attack, this one I like a lot, because you do get the upward attack afterwards, and then you can dodge upwards and follow up with the sequence, so it will look something like this, right? And here, if you happen to be fast enough, you can get the upward air special into the grab, or even get the side one and decide to chase him. So let's try it one last time, right? And you can do a lot with that. Right here, obviously he's getting the dodge, but you can actually get this to work. Kinda sad that I'm failing it miserably every time now. The curse of the YouTube recording. But you get the idea, right? You get the idea that you can follow up a lot here. If the opponents are high on damage, another combo that is actually really good is laser, because you can pretty much follow up with whatever you want here, because the laser will knock them upwards. So one thing I do like to do is just do the upward attack and then into the grab. Let's say for example here we got them to do that. I need to slow it down a little bit. Yeah, so you can get some checks afterward, and at the very minimum you are getting a side attack as well, and that is pretty good. And obviously if you happen to get a, like if they happen to be jumping and you got the air grab, you can actually knock them down, and this will allow you to do some follow-ups as well. So let's say for example here that Shaggy is gonna be jumping. I do think I need to get like the jump up grab, right? You can kind of knock him downwards, right? And then you can follow up off of that. So this one is pretty nice as well. But what you really want to do most of the time with Superman is like hitting them and guessing for the grab for the reset, and this will allow you to pretty much get your flow going. A lot of his moves, a lot of his combos are really more about just resets into the grab and predicting where the opponent might want to recover. And that is pretty much it for Superman. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.